All right, explain to us what Google did, what it means.
Yeah,
and
Google-
are investors liking it?
No, because the stock is down initially
That's
today,
interesting,
but not
right?
that much. But it is down a little bit today. Google always seems to throw us a curveball with its earnings. Yesterday they did that by announcing the stock split, where people will be doubling their shares, but they're doing it. Google is structuring the stock split in a way where people are getting a new class of stock that's a non-voting class of
Right.
stock, as opposed to shares just like what they already own. The reason to do that is so that the founders of the company, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, as well as the former CEO, Eric Schmidt, can maintain their voting control. of the
Power.
company.
Maintain
Yes,
their power.
Exactly.
Right. Now, if their concern was not diluting their ownership stake, why do the stock split at all? What's the reason behind the stock split? Is it because they didn't want to do an actual cash dividend, which is something I think investors have been asking for?
Yeah, I mean,
does
investors
it
have
play
been
into
asking
all
for both.
that?
They've been asking for a split for a while because the stock has routinely been, above $500 for many years
moon.
now. Yeah, many a moon. And also, the company has $44 billion of cash on its balance sheet, so they've been also looking for a cash stock. So Google didn't seem to be prepared to give the cash stock. They said they want to save it for possible uses. One use is that they have a $12 billion acquisition of Motorola that they're going to probably close before July. But this seemed to be a way to appease some of that shareholder sentiment by giving them a stock dividend, as you said, in the form of a 2-for-1 stock split.
And how did shareholders react? How do we see shareholders and investors react?
Well,
That's the
stock,
irony, right?
Right. The stock slipped a little bit. Earnings in general were pretty good
Yes.
and in line with expectations. But the stock slipped, and this new class of shares, when it is
When they start
launched,
trading, when do they start trading?
Well, it depends. The deal has to get approved.
Okay.
Although that's really a formality because, as we know, the top three already have a majority
Yes.
control over the company, so it's going to get approved. And then they'll start trading on NASDAQ. And they'll probably trade at a discount to the A shares that are currently traded, just because there's no voting power with this new class of shares.
So if this is a different class of stock, explain to us how this works. Should I expect to see Google's stock price get cut in half because of this
Yes.
stock split?
Right,
Yes.
right. When the
Even
split-
though these are different classes of stock.
Right, just because there's twice as much
Right.
shares out there.
Okay.
So, the supply and demand suggests that it would get cut in half.
And what about their earnings? Obviously, great earnings, but there were two signs there that maybe things were slightly amiss with hiring, right, as well
Right.
as ad revenue from advertisers.
Right. I mean, the big concern every quarter is how much hiring Google has done. They slowed down that this past quarter. Last year they had a record year of hiring, adding 8,000 people over the course of the year, which was more than they ever had in 1 year. And then the other thing that was a concern that came up in January when they reported was what they call cost per clicks, which is what advertisers pay per ad that's clicked on, and that's an important metric for Google.
That was down 12%.
And that was down
right?
12%. But what they're doing, they're making up for that because people are clicking on more ads because of mobile devices and people clicking on ads on mobile devices. The number of clicks went up 39%.
Okay.
But those ads on mobile devices are considered less valuable. So Google gets less money for them, and that's why you're seeing the cost per click go down. So more volume of clicks, but less money per click.
Why is mobile considered less valuable? Everything I hear is that mobile is such a hot space and it's the big growth thing. I would think that it would almost be more valuable. Right?
Right.
All
So
the
many-
cool kids are on their cell phones.
So many younger people, that's the only thing they have,
Right.
right? They don't have a laptop. They might not even have a television. What they have
Right.
is the
Why
mobile
does it break
device.
down that way?
Well, the reason why is because you tend to be less engaged with the mobile device. First off, you're mobile, so you're out doing something usually, so you're not going to be staring at that ad. Mobile devices are thinner and smaller, so sometimes it's a fat finger type of hit where you don't you hit on the ad accidentally as opposed to really looking at it. As opposed to when you're on a desktop and you click on an ad, most time you want to see what that ad is about or what it might lead to because you're more engaged, you're more focused on that experience as opposed to being in a store or.
Oh, whoever clicks
really? I was just going to say that. Does anybody really
I
ever
never click on these ads,
Never.
even though they're in Facebook. They're
Right,
targeted specifically
right.
to me.
Never.
Who clicks on these
Right.
ads?
Do
That
you?
is always what I
No,
wanna
it's a
know.
very low percentage of people who do, but
and even lower on mobile devices, right?
But when you're talking about billions of people, you
Sure.
don't need that many people to
Yeah.
click on it to make
So
money from
they
it.
don't need us. They don't need
Yes.
us.